You ready? Let's go. 2 Minute Daily Devo for Tuesday, July 6th. I'm in the New International Reader's Version today, and our verse of the day comes from the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 11. Here's what it says. It says, I have hidden your word in my heart so that I might not sin against you. This is a great verse, and I encourage you to read the entire chapter, Psalm 119. It's long, the longest chapter in the Bible, but it's all about the importance and the power of God's word and how it keeps us from sinning. It keeps us on the right path. It's a light unto our feet. It helps us in our lives. It helps direct and lead and guide our lives. And this is a no different. This is a great verse that we have hidden God's word in our hearts so that we might not sin against you. This is what we should do. This is why we spend time watching these devos, reading God's word, listening to messages, going to church on Sundays and Wednesdays, because we want to hide God's word in our heart. You know, it's one thing just to get it in your heads and have head knowledge, and you read the Bible and it's in one ear and out the other, and check your little box for your Christian duty that you've done for the day that, yeah, I read the Bible. But if you don't get it down in your heart, if you don't get it in your spirit, then you can't actually follow it. And this is what it means, that we need to get God's word in our heart so that we might not sin against him. That's our ultimate goal. As we read God's word, we want to get it in our hearts, get it in our souls, and then actually start to live God's word. This is why we want to spend time reading God's word every day, understanding here's what God says we should do, here's how we should live, because we have such a heart and a desire to be obedient to God that we don't want to sin, that we want to know God's word. So I encourage you today, first of all, to say good job, because you've watched this Devo. You are starting to hide God's word in your heart. And I encourage you, once you do that, now you can say, hey, I know what God's word says. I know how God says we're supposed to live. And I can now do what God says I'm supposed to do. All right? That's it, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.